Hey everyone, it's me, Aaron, Thorgi, whatever the hell you want to call me, and it is a brand new year. Not that you would notice because our Halloween decorations are still up. That shouldn't be. One sec. Okay, that looks better. Hey everyone, it's me, Aaron, Thorgi, whatever the hell you want to call me, and it is a brand new year, which means it's time for your annual Thorgi Direct. This is something that we've been doing for the past couple of years, in which I come in here in January and I lay out for you all the plans I have for this channel over the course of the next 12 months. And then you guys guess in the comments how many of those I will be able to actually hit. Yeah, let's go ahead and start by addressing that. Last year, I kind of overshot my estimate a little bit on that. I think we only hit maybe 2/3 of the things that I said that we would be doing last year. And a lot of that is simply because the things I wanted to do last year turned out to be way bigger than I expected. A good example of that is the Street Fighter retrospective that we are currently on part 4 of. I thought that was only going to be 4 parts. Turns out it's going to be 6 parts, and I also thought that no part of that would go longer than an hour, and we're doing hour and a half minimum long episodes. 2 hours, some of them, the movie episode was almost 2 hours. How did that happen? How is there so much to talk about in that episode? Apparently there was. So yeah, a lot of things I had planned just ended up being much larger than I expected. So this year on Thorgi Direct, I'm going to try and be a little bit more realistic with my estimates in there, but also I'm going to ask you guys some questions about what you'd like to see. I'm not just going to come in here and say this is what we're doing. I'm going to say, hey, here are some options that I have. Let me know in the comments what you'd like to see. Before we actually get to talking about the videos that I have planned, I want to throw out there a couple of New Year's resolutions. These are a couple of things that I want to work on, partly on the channel, but also partly, just personally. The first thing is I do want to keep looking after my health. Last year, for you guys who can't tell, I am a little bit underweight, and last year I had a goal of gaining about 20 pounds. I only gained about 5, so not great, but you know what, that's still progress. So this year I'm going to still try and focus on getting back up to a healthy weight. And the reason why I'm opening with that is because I do want to come in here and stress right off the bat, yeah, there are a lot of videos I want to make this year. But if I need to stop, if I need to actually focus on my health and focus on a little bit of personal time to make sure that way I don't push myself too hard, health has to come first. So I just want to go ahead, clarify that, get that out of the way right now. Secondly, my next resolution when it comes to this channel is I want to collab more. I want to do way more collabs this year. I want to go out there and actually try and interact with other creators. I want to have other people on the channel to do some stuff. I want to go into other people's channels and do some stuff with them. And so far, we're off to a good start. For anybody who didn't see it, I was on this week's episode of the TKO podcast. Yeah, Matt McMuscles, Maximilian Dude, Justin Wong, I got to go over there onto their show, and I sounded like a crazy person talking about the lore of BlazBlue. So for anybody out there who is brand new to this channel, because you saw me over there, thank you very much for coming over here and checking us out. I hope that you enjoy everything that you find. And also, I just want to go ahead and stop and say, that was a great honor being on that show. I really enjoyed going on. But I was reading the comments on that video. You guys are so nice. You guys are incredibly nice. All the comments, we tend to get pretty positive comments over here on Thorgi's Arcade. But I was going into somebody else's house over there. A lot of people who had never even seen me were about to see me over there. So I was all right, how's everybody gonna feel about me being on this show? So many positive comments over there. I was reading through the comments on that video, and it was just tons of people saying, I'm so glad that Thorgi's here. I've been asking for Thorgi to be on for the longest time. It's great seeing Thorgi on. I was oh my goodness. Thank you guys. That was awesome. Such a positive response to that. So often you hear YouTubers talk about how negative the comments are. And yeah, there can definitely be negative comments. There's always gonna be some negative comments out there. But I don't feel like enough YouTubers stop to comment on when there are positive comments. And I just want to come in here and say, I was blown away by the positive reception on that video. Thank you guys so much for that. So yeah, so far, right off the bat, we have done a big collab, but I want to keep doing it. I want that to be a thing that we focus on more this year. And I'm not going to go ahead and reveal what it is, but I think in February, I already have plans on being in another video on someone else's channel. So yeah, it's a person who I've mentioned here before on this channel, and I'm a fan of their work. So I will inform you guys of when that video goes up. It's hard for me to talk about without spoiling what it could possibly be. But yeah, I am going to be in another video coming up in February. So it looks like so far I'm making good on that goal, but that is the thing that I will focus on this year. Doing more collabs, having more people on this channel, being on other people's channels more often, getting myself out there, interacting more with other creators. And there's actually, and this is not something that I can say for sure is going to happen this year, but it is kind of a long-term goal of something that I'd like to do. I would like to start up a new show on this channel where it is me interacting with someone else. I bring somebody else onto the channel, and you know, there's no like rule about what it is that we're going to do on that episode. There's no like, this is the exact thing that we are going to do on every episode of this show with a different guest. No, it's just going to be I bring a different guest on and we do something. It's the vaguest premise for a show you have ever heard. But yeah, I do want to do some kind of a regular collab show on this channel. And that brings me into the third resolution that I have for this year. I would like to hire on more people to work on the channel. Last year, we started up a Patreon. And I was a little bit nervous about how's that Patreon going to do. And it's done very well. You guys have been showing up, been supporting, and I appreciate that so much. And if you guys haven't checked out the Patreon so far, there will be a link for it in the description down below. You can go over there, get early looks at upcoming videos, vote on upcoming videos, and also if you're at the higher tier, then every single month we put out like a little director commentary on builder rosters or other videos that we have on this channel. So yeah, if you want to check that out, again, link in the description below. But part of the promise that I made when we opened the Patreon was that the money that we get from that Patreon would be going back into the channel. And if you guys have noticed, we have had way more artists doing thumbnails for this video. Last year, we were really bumped up and really started bringing in way more artists to do way more thumbnails on this channel. And I love that. That was awesome, getting to work with all of them. Pretty much every single artist that I have worked with has been an insanely nice person, super talented, been so happy to work with them, and the patrons have really helped to make that happen. But also, I want to hire on more editors, because that will allow me to get more videos out to you guys. And last year, we only hired on an editor for one video. It was for half of that Street Fighter, cut Street Fighter characters video. And it was great getting to work with them. Amazing person. And they made the video look so incredibly good. It's really weird how when you hire on people who specialize in something, they're going to do a better job at than I can. Weird how that works out, right? So yeah, that is a goal of mine this year, is to hire on more editors so that way we can get more videos out there for you guys. And the reason why I am saying that is a personal goal of mine is because that's something that I have to just deal with myself, because I will go ahead and admit, the reason why we didn't hire on more editors is not necessarily because of like how much it would cost, it's more of just a personal thing. It is more because it is a weird feeling to take the thing that you're working on and then just send it out there into the wild and say, okay, hope it turns out. Bye, project. Hope you come back okay. Yeah, it's a weird thing that I just have to deal with. I just have to get over that in my head. So that's one of my goals this year. Get over that. Get to that point where I'm like, I am okay with sending a project I've been working on off to someone else, and they will work on it without me like over their shoulders seeing what's happening every step of the way. Like, I have to just kind of deal with that. So that is another one of my personal goals. Hire more editors so we can get more videos out for you guys. Fourth goal, stop repeating myself so much whenever I'm trying to explain stuff. I just noticed I never actually put this back. It's just been sitting over here on the shelf the entire time. Hold on. Okay, move that back in there. There. Now we'll all pretend like it was like that from the beginning. Fifth goal, and this one is kind of going along with some other stuff that we have already talked about. Fifth goal is I want to get more different shows out there on this channel, because I love doing the Fighting Game Retrospective. The Fighting Game Retrospective is great, love doing Build the Roster, and you guys seem to enjoy both of those things. But I don't want this to just be the fighting game retrospective and the builder roster channel. I would like there to be a couple of other different shows out there. And last year, like I said, we did that cut Street Fighter characters video, and you guys seem to really enjoy that. So I'm going to continue along with that. We were actually going to do a video last year for Mortal Kombat 11's release on cut Mortal Kombat characters, but every single piece of artwork that I could find of cut Mortal Kombat characters was like this big. So if I wanted to show it up, I would have to blow it up until it got super blurred out. So I was like, you know what, we'll save that for later. I'll try and figure something out. But we are going to bring that premise back this month for Tekken. The brand new Tekken comes out this month, so we're going to be doing a video this month on the history of cut Tekken characters. But I do want to just get more different shows out there. Get a little bit more variety going on this channel. Everything is still going to focus mostly on fighting games. But I do want there to be more than just 2 regular shows that people keep coming back to this channel for. But speaking of those shows, it is time to actually talk about the specifics, the exact things that I have planned coming up this year. As I said, I'm not going to promise nearly as much as I did last year because I definitely overshot some things. But here are the things that you can definitely look forward to this year. Starting in January, the first big thing that we are going to do is going to be coming up in the next week. This is something that I've been wanting to do on this channel for a little while now, and this year we're finally doing it. I've been wanting to do a video every single year looking back at fighting games from the previous year. And not just looking back at the brand new releases, but also brand new content that got added to older games, but also news stories. And the reason I've been wanting to do that for a while is 2 reasons. One is because, A, we don't really talk about news on this channel that much. We don't really talk about brand new releases. But there's some stuff that I would like to say about news and brand new releases, so this gives me an excuse to go back through and cover all of that stuff. But the other reason why I want to do it is because I feel like when it comes to year-end celebration stuff on YouTube, pretty much every genre of video game has people doing look-backs, but when it comes to fighting games, nobody really does. Pretty much every YouTuber out there who is going to do a video talking about the fighting games of 2023, they're just going to talk about Street Fighter, they're just going to talk about Mortal Kombat, they might cover Grand Blue. That's pretty much it. So I want to do something that really covers, no, here's all the indie stuff that nobody talks about. Anybody heard of Monstroscopy? Yeah, that came out. We're going to talk about it. So that is our first big video of the year. I've got all the audio done for it now. It's going to be about 2 hours, and I thought it was only going to be 1 hour. Yeah, wow, what did I say earlier about me having a problem with making videos longer than I expected them to be, and that's why we don't get as much stuff out? Yeah, weird how that keeps happening. So yeah, starting the year off as you would expect. So yeah, first video of the year is going to be our big look back at the fighting game stuff of 2023. After that, we are going to do that Tekken video, as I mentioned, the history of cut Tekken characters. I'm doing the research on that. Haven't written the script yet, but knock on wood, it should not be as long as the Street Fighter one. I think it's only going to be half an hour long, so I can get that out in a few days. And then, the other thing for January that we have planned. Man, that's a lot of stuff in January. I'm hoping that I can get it all out. But the other thing that I have planned for January, it is the other big tradition that we have on this channel every single January, is the newest Smash Builder roster. Yes, for anybody who is brand new to the channel, every single January we do a builder roster that is based around the Smash formula, taking a big crossover of all the properties under one company and putting them into a platform fighter. And we've done Indie Smash, we've done Sega Smash, we did Xbox Smash last year. So what's the one going to be this year? I've had so many people ask me about this. The new Smash Bros. Is the new Smash Bros. Give you all a second to figure out what the hell I mean by that. All right, yes, we are going to be doing Smash 6. We're going to be talking about what would Smash 6 look like. However, I can never just put something out there like that. No. You all know me, I have to have a weird twist on it. And this one does have a weird twist on it. I'm I'm not going to reveal what that is. That's going to be a surprise to you guys, but it's probably going to upset a lot of people. So make sure that you come back and check out what the heck that could be. I want to talk about that real quick for a second, though. When it comes to the idea of always putting in the weird twist into our builder rosters, I've seen a lot of people commenting saying like, oh, you don't always need to have some kind of a weird twist in your videos. You don't need to do something like that. I'm going to be real with you guys. The weird twist is what makes it fun for me. I will be completely 100% honest with you guys. I love doing builder roster, but last year it was starting to wear me down a little bit. I was starting to not enjoy doing it as much. And I was trying to figure out, well, why am I not enjoying it as much? Why is it starting to just feel like a thing that I just have to do rather than something that I really want to do? What's happening? And when I did the Halloween builder roster last year, I had so much fun with that. I love doing that one. That is one of my favorite builder rosters we've ever done. And then I realized the reason why was because that one allowed me to really be creative. Because I had to take characters who have never been in a fighting game, outside of like a few in Mortal Kombat, and then figure out how they would work in a fighting game. And figure out their unique mechanics, and what's the unique theme that everybody works around. But the other two builder rosters we did that year, the Xbox builder roster and the Mortal Kombat vs. Street Fighter builder roster, those were basically kind of just me listing off characters. Like the Xbox one, you know, I was just kind of like, all right, well, here's the big Xbox characters. And then when it came to the Street Fighter vs. Mortal Kombat one, I came up with the idea of everybody having two different versions, but outside of that, it was me just talking about fighting game characters that would be in a fighting game. And there's nothing really that interesting for that. That's just not that interesting to me. So this is the reason why I'm bringing this up is I want to say we're still going to keep doing builder roster. I still love doing builder roster, but in order to make sure that I keep loving it, we're going to keep getting weird with it. We're going to keep builder roster weird this year. I'm going to make sure that everything that we do with builder roster, it's going to be stuff that I'm really passionate about, and also stuff that I can get really creative with. It's never going to be just me listing off character names. I've seen a lot of other people out there doing their own like little builder roster things. And that's great, by the way. I've had a lot of people contact me over the years on social media and say, hey, would it be okay if I did my own kind of spin on builder roster? And I just want to go ahead and say right now, I don't own the concept of making hypothetical rosters. You guys have it. As long as you just don't call it builder roster, I'm fine. Like, I know that there are a lot that's, like, let's take Maximilian Dude, for example. He's got Rate the Super. I've seen a lot of other people out there doing Rate the Super, and they just call it Rate the Super, and I'm like, guys, just call it a different name. That's my rule for builder roster. Have at it. Do your own builder roster. Have fun with it. I hope you enjoy. Just don't call it builder roster. Like, that's the name for our show. Like, that's my only rule on that. But yeah, so what the hell was I talking about again? Okay, sixth resolution. Don't go off on so many tangents that I keep forgetting what the hell I'm talking about. Okay, so yeah, as I was saying, we're going to keep build the roster kind of interesting this year. We're going to try and keep putting in there different themes, you know, maybe focus on a lot of non-fighting game characters, because I really do enjoy trying to figure out how a non-fighting game character would work in a fighting game. That to me is the really interesting part of build the roster. So we're not just going to try and make any videos where I'm just listing off character names and stuff like that. Alright, moving out of January, let's stick with the builder rosters for now. Our next builder roster is going to be in April. Every single April is our anniversary episode. That was when the first builder roster came out, so every single April we do something that tries to call back to that first episode. First episode being Marvel vs. Capcom 4, so every single April we try and do a new Capcom crossover fighting game. And for this one I'm going to leave up to the patrons, because I've got two ideas on this. So I'll go ahead and I'll tell you guys what I am considering at the moment, and then the patrons will decide. The first idea is Capcom versus Sega, because that actually was almost a thing at one point in time. Not a lot of people know that, but Capcom versus Sega almost happened way back in the early 2000s. So that's been one of those things that big Capcom fighting game fans have talked about for a long time. And now there's actually like a fan game of Sega vs. Capcom that someone's working on, and they're not just taking a bunch of Mugen sprites that already exist and putting them into a game. No. They're actually building 3D models for these characters. They're actually making a real Capcom versus Sega fighting game. I can't even talk because that's so insane that someone is actually doing that. That's wild. So it's like, you know what? In celebration of that, what if we just did Sega versus Capcom as our next builder roster? But the other idea that I had, a lot of people have also been asking me to do just a big Capcom crossover fighting game. But as I have said, I like to be weird with it. I like to come up with a twist. So I was thinking, you know what? A good twist for it would be this. What if Capcom made King of Fighters? King of Fighters was the big crossover game with SNK characters, but they made sure that everybody had to fit on a 3-person team. So, for the big Capcom crossover video, the premise would be, what if Capcom did King of Fighters? So it's a big crossover between all these Capcom properties, but they all have to be on 3-person teams. So those are the 2 ideas that we have for the big anniversary episode this year. As I said, I will be leaving that one up to the patrons. And the last builder roster that I'm going to talk about, and that I'm going to promise you guys for this year, is the X-Men builder roster. This is one that I have been promising you guys for a long time. It was supposed to happen last year. We didn't get to it. It got delayed. We're going to finally do it this year. I actually mentioned this one on Twitter, and so many people were excited for it that I was like, there's no way that I can't do it now. So yeah, we're definitely going to do an X-Men builder roster this year. X-Men Children of the Atom 2, or Mutant Academy 3, whatever the hell that one was on the GameCube. Man, the X-Men used to have so many fighting games. So that's builder roster out of the way. Let's talk about the fighting game retrospective now. First order of business, finish the Street Fighter retrospective. That thing was only supposed to be 4 parts. It's now a 6-parter. It's going on way too long. Yes, let's get part 5 and 6 done. So I've already told you everything that we're going to do in January. February, part 5 of the Street Fighter retrospective. March, part 6 of the Street Fighter retrospective. Those are getting done first and foremost. Those are my big priorities so far this year. After that though, this is one that I'm not leaving this one up to the patrons. I want to hear from you guys. I got 2 questions about what we should do with the fighting game retrospective. I want you guys to tell me down in the comments or contact me on any of my social media sites. Let me know what you guys think I should do, because originally the plan when I was working all this stuff out last year was that we would do the Street Fighter retrospective, then we would get a couple of like little small ones in there, and then when Tekken 8 came out, we would do the Tekken retrospective. Here's where that went wrong. First off, the Street Fighter retrospective ended up being way bigger, and every single video ended up taking way longer to do than I anticipated. So that's still going on. But also, I thought last year that Tekken would probably come out in March, because that's when most companies release their big new games. Instead, Tekken comes out in like a few weeks. So yeah, I kinda got screwed on 2 ways on that one. Like the Street Fighter one went too long, and then the Tekken one released too early. So yeah, I don't know now if we should do the Tekken retrospective so soon. Because you want to do the Tekken retrospective when Tekken 8 drops. Because that's when you get that good crossover, you get that good synergy going in there. But, yeah, Tekken's releasing too early, there's no way that I can do that. I just can't do the Tekken retrospective in time for Tekken 8, because I won't even be done with the Street Fighter retrospective in time. So, here's my question to you guys. Would you still like to see me go straight from Street Fighter into Tekken? Or, because Tekken's going to be another big one, it's going to be another big multi-parter, or would you like to see me, you know, if I'm not going to hit the release date of Tekken 8, and I'm not going to get that synergy going, would you guys like for me to take a break from the big ones and maybe do like 2 smaller fighting game retrospectives in there? I can't say for sure which 2 we would do, but one of them would definitely be Under Night in Birth. People have been asking for an Under Night in Birth retrospective for a while. I've been wanting to do an Under Night in Birth retrospective for a while. And the second Under Night and supposedly the finale to this storyline that they've been doing is all going to wrap up in the new game that's coming out very soon. So, should we do Under Night in Birth and then another little short fun one in there, then get into our next big gigantic multi-parter series? Or should we still just go straight into Tekken because it's still going to be the year of Tekken? Let me know your ideas on that down below. But the second question that I had about our fighting game retrospectives is, Yeah, the Street Fighter 1 is going on for a long time. That is a 6-part one. It is huge, it's massive, it's taking up everybody's time. And I've noticed something. We got a ton of new subscribers off of part 1 and part 2 of the Street Fighter Retrospective. Didn't get a ton of new subscribers off of part 3 and part 4. But that's understandable, because anybody who is interested in a Street Fighter Retrospective, they're probably going to tune in for part 1 and part 2, and once we get up to part 3, everybody who wants to check out Street Fighter Retrospectives, they've already found the channel. They've already subscribed. So that makes total sense to me. But that then raises the question. In order to keep basically like good traffic flowing on this channel, if we have a giant, massive, multi-part retrospective like that, something that goes like, 3 or 4 episodes long, should I divide it up? Should I put out like 2 parts, then do like a small little side thing talking about something else, something not big and massive. Then we come back for part 3 and 4. Then, I put out like another small little side fighting game retrospective, then come back for like part 5 and 6. How would you guys feel about that? Would it be too weird seeing it all broken up like that? Should I just stick with doing them all straight in a row? Would you guys enjoy the break in there? So that way it's not just Street Fighter, Street Fighter, Street Fighter, Street Fighter, or Tekken, or Mortal Kombat. Let me know how you guys would like me to go about that in the comments down below. So yeah, when it comes to the fighting game retrospective, I'm not going to say what we're going to do this year, simply because I want to hear from you guys. What would you like to see us do this year? But it will definitely either be the Tekken retrospective, or we'll break it up with a couple of smaller ones in there, including Under Night and Birth. So those are the 2 options right now. But moving on from the fighting game retrospective, the next order of business. This is something that I have been wanting to do since this channel began. And I have even told you guys that we were going to do this 4 years in a row. I cannot put this off any longer. Well, I say I can't put it off any longer like I've been putting it off. No, I've been working on this thing. Just other stuff keeps coming up and I'm like, okay, well, I gotta stop working on that now. Gotta now go and work on this thing. As soon as April passes, we're going to, do the Street Fighter retrospective in February and March. April is our big anniversary build the roster. As soon as that anniversary build the roster is done, priority number 1, not working on anything else until this is done. I've been wanting to do a smaller fighting game spotlight show. Like, think of it as the fighting game retrospective, but only talking about a single release. It's 1 part fighting game retrospective, 1 part review show. And it's not just talking about like brand new fighting games, like there'll be some older fighting games in there, some undiscovered fighting games in there, some weird stuff, some mainstream stuff, just basically anything that I want to talk about in there. And last year, I was like, it's happening this year. It's definitely happening this year. And my plan was this. I was going to make 12 episodes and call those 12 episodes Season 1. But to make sure that all those episodes came out, I was not going to put a single episode up until all 12 episodes were done. And I would just load them all up onto YouTube and schedule all of them to be released like every 2 weeks. And that was the plan. And I learned last year, trying to make 12 videos all at once is a mad effort. And no one should do it because then it's never going to get done. Yeah, I've got all the footage for all those games recorded. I've got all the scripts written for all those games. I've got the majority of them recorded and edited. But that takes so long to get 12 episodes out that it just got to a point in which I was like, oh my goodness, I don't even remember working on episode 1, and here I am working on like episode 9, and I've still got like 3 more to go. Yeah, you shouldn't try and make 12 episodes of a thing before a single one goes up. That is your big lesson and takeaway from this video. So yeah, we're going to kind of go back. We're going to take the episodes that still work that I've already worked on and hold on to them. But some of them are going to be thrown out. I'm going to redo them, or I'm going to talk about new shows. And the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm not going to wait until all 12 episodes are done. I'm going to make sure that 6 episodes get done. Then I'm going to start uploading those, and those are going to go up every 2 weeks, so that's going to be 3 months worth of content, and within those 3 months, I will start working on the next 6 episodes. I feel like that is a far better strategy, and it will definitely be able to happen this year. If you guys want an idea of what I mean by I had to throw some of these episodes out because it was taking so long trying to do all 12 of these episodes, we were going to do an episode on Killer Instinct. And during that video, I was going to talk about how, man, it'd be really great if Iron Galaxy could come back and rework on this game. That's exactly what they did. So hey, that's great that happened, but also means the game is completely changed now, and all the footage that I shot of the old game doesn't really apply anymore. Or like Dragon Ball FighterZ, I had a video on that in which I was going to say, okay, let's see if I can get the Platinum Trophy in this game before rollback netcode comes. Rollback netcode is like almost here now. And even if I could get the video done before the rollback netcode actually goes out, they have changed so much about that game since I recorded all the footage from last year. Like, there's brand new mechanics and stuff in there now. It's like, God, this isn't even accurate anymore. Okay, I can't even use this video anymore. Did get that Platinum Trophy though. I'll go ahead and spoil that for you guys. Oh yeah, and then there was Them's Fighting Herds. I was doing a video on Them's Fighting Herds, and in there I was talking about the story mode in there. I was like, yeah, it's kind of weird that the story mode just ends on cliffhanger. But you know, they say they're coming back, so they're definitely going to come back and finish that up. And it'll be great to see when all that is done. They announced in November that they are not coming back and not finishing that up, and it's just done. So yeah, changes the tone of a lot of the videos that I was working on last year. So yeah, we're not going to do all 12 episodes at once. I'm going to do 6 episodes, get those 6 episodes up. As soon as those go up, we're going to start working on the next 6 episodes. And as I said, as soon as April is done, that is priority number 1. That is the big thing that I have to do this year. And if that means that in May a single video doesn't go out on this channel, that's just going to be the deal. Because this show has to get done. I've been promising it to you guys for like 2 years now. The patrons last year even voted on games they want me to play in it. So yeah, this has to get done. So as soon as May rolls around, that is the number 1 thing we are working on this channel. So that will be a brand new show that starts going up starting this summer. So okay, those are all the big returning shows I want to talk about here. A couple of other things to cover before we go out. Fight for the Future, our big annual charity stream, that will be returning this year. That, man, I really appreciate you guys. Everybody out there who has tuned in every single year, or even just, in recent years, and has showed up and supported the charity stream. I am so thankful. I appreciate everything that you guys have done. So yeah, we are going to continue that. This will be year number 5 for the Fight for the Future charity stream. I can't believe we've been doing it for 5 years now. I thought I would have collapsed after like 2 years, but here we go, we're still doing it. I really am just blown away by the support that you guys give us every single year on that. Thank you all so much. So yeah, Fight for the Future is going to be returning. Also, other things that are going to be returning later this year, Thorgi. Love doing Thorgi. I didn't get to do it in 2022, so we had to bring it back last year for 2023. Had a ton of fun doing that last year. I really enjoyed getting to do all the Thorgi videos last year, and you guys seem to enjoy it as well. I was checking the comments, I was checking the upvotes and downvotes, and yeah, tons of positive reception for Thorgi. I appreciate you guys for allowing me every single year to step away from the fighting game stuff for a little bit and just talk about some weird horror games that I just want to cover for a while. Yeah, again, it's always a big risk whenever you do something on YouTube that's completely different from everything else that you do on YouTube. But you guys are cool with it. You guys are always like, hey man, we know you want to do that. Go ahead, have your week of spooky stuff. We're fine with that. And I appreciate that. I'm so glad that even the people out there who are not into the spooky stuff allow me to have my little spooky time every year. So, okay, I think that is everything that I wanted to go over. I think that's all the plans that we have. So that's all the shows, build the rosters, Fighting Game Retrospectives, the new Spotlight show, my resolutions. Yeah, I think we covered everything here. Except for one thing. Last year, I set a goal of us hitting 80,000 subscribers on the channel, and unfortunately we couldn't hit that. But we still hit 75,000. And you know what? That's pretty darn good. That means that within 1 year, we went from 50,000 subscribers to 75,000 subscribers. We increased the number of people on this channel by 50% within a year. Or 1/3 of a percent. It depends on how you want to count that. But yeah, either way, big growth. That is the most growth that we have ever seen in a single year on this channel. So even if we didn't hit that goal, I'm still blown away, and I appreciate everybody who has tuned in, everybody who has started following us within the last year, but everybody who was also following us before that. But mostly, all the people who they've given us the thumbs up, they've clicked the bell, they've left the comments down there. That's the stuff that lets YouTube to know to spread these videos around. But I also really appreciate all the people out there who said, I'm not going to leave that up to YouTube. I'm going to spread these videos around myself. And they've shared the videos around all over social media and in forums and threads and wherever they might think that people out there might be interested in this stuff. Thank you guys so much for all the support that you've been showing this channel. That is how we have been able to grow and get to this point. I cannot believe how much we were able to grow last year. That is insane to me. I thank you all so much for that. But that raises the question, what is our goal for this year? You all know what our goal for this year is. We gained 25,000 subscribers last year, going from 50,000 to 75,000. You know what the goal is this year. 100,000. Yeah, that's right. I said it. Our goal this year is 100K. This is 2024, the year of 100,000 subscribers. I want that plaque. Yeah, for anybody who doesn't know, YouTube always sends out there a very nice plaque to anybody who hits 100,000 subscribers. So next year when we're doing the Thorgi Direct, I want to have the 100K plaque sitting right up there over my shoulder. We're doing it. This year is the year of 100,000 subscribers. Let's make it happen. Clap emoji. Okay, so we're going to do it. 100,000 subscribers. And this is the other reason why I didn't inform you guys of so many things I have planned later in the year. I'm not just trying to be more realistic, but also I'm gonna let you guys know right now. I've got 3 videos planned for when we hit 100K. I have 3 videos planned. I say planned as if they're all done. No. They're not done yet, but I will be working on them as soon as we hit 100,000 subscribers. As soon as we hit 100,000 subscribers, those 3 videos are going to be worked on and they're going to go up. 3 videos celebrating 100K. Number 1 will just be like a Q&A video because I know there's a lot of people out there with some Q's. I'm going to give them the A's. You guys can just ask me whatever you want in order to celebrate that 100K. But then the second video is going to be a countdown of my top 100 favorite fighting games of all time to celebrate 100,000. Favorite 100 fighting games. Makes sense. But the other one is there is a series of fighting games I've been wanting to do a retrospective on for a while. And I've been saving it. So we're going to wait until 100,000 subscribers gets hit, and then we're going to do that special retrospective. I don't care what else we're working on at the time. I don't care if we're halfway through the Tekken retrospective at that point. As soon as we hit 100,000 subscribers, that's the next big retrospective we're going to do. And I'm not even going to tell you what it is. Y'all are going to have to figure that out for yourselves. Start guessing. Place your bets down below. So yeah, 100,000 subscribers. It's happening this year. Let's make it happen. Thank you guys so much for all your support, and I look forward to everything that we are going to accomplish this year in 2024. Hope you all had a very wonderful New Year. Wow, screwed up right at the very end. That is so on brand for me. This year's going to be the same as ever, everybody. Bye. No, seriously. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Stay safe out there, and come back next time.